Zendaya doesn't just wear clothes, she tells stories with them. From Disney Channel beginnings to commanding the Met Gala carpet, she's become one of the most important style icons of our time. Each look is deliberate, whether she's channeling Diana Ross, stepping into futuristic Mugler couture, or syncing her red carpet style to her movie roles. With her longtime stylist, Law Roach, Zendaya has turned fashion into performance art and redefined what it means to dress with intention in the 21st century. This is the story of how Zendaya became a modern-day fashion legend. I'm Janet, and this is the story of how a Disney girl became Hollywood's ultimate fashion icon. Zendaya is not afraid to experiment with style. The 29-year-old consistently delivers headline-making looks, from the Met Gala and Fashion Week front rows to red carpets, premieres, and even off-duty street style. Through her red carpet appearances, luxury house ambassadorships, editorial presence, social media resonance, and fearless trend experimentation, Zendaya has redefined what it means to be a style icon in the 21st century. But long before she became one of the defining fashion figures of our era, Zendaya Marie Coleman was simply a girl from Oakland, California. Born the youngest and only child of Kazembe Ajamu Coleman and Claire Stormer, she grew up surrounded by art and performance. In 2010, she landed her first big break as Rocky Blue on Disney Channel's Shake It Up. Back then, her style was playful, safe, and very much Disney, the ultimate girl-next-door aesthetic. The turning point came in 2012 when she crossed paths with Law Roach, an emerging stylist who would soon become her creative partner. Together, Zendaya and Roach pioneered a new kind of celebrity-stylist relationship. Roach, who called himself an image architect, didn't just dress her, he built a strategy. At a time when luxury fashion houses were reluctant to work with Disney stars, the two devised a plan to elevate Zendaya's image step by step. Roach once explained, "I would only put her in things that people had worn so that designers would start to notice her and notice her name." And it worked. Their early experiments gave a glimpse of what was to come. In 2011, at just 15 years old, Zendaya attended a teen Vogue party in a simple blue dress with black tights, heels, and stud earrings. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it showed a young star already leaning into fashion, experimenting within her age bracket, and laying the groundwork for the sophistication to come. By 2015, Zendaya's presence was impossible to ignore. That year, she made her Met Gala debut, a milestone for any rising star. The theme was China, through the looking glass, and she arrived in a Fausto Puglisi gown embroidered with sun motifs and a dramatic high-low hemline. Crown, cuffs, and Jimmy Choo heels completed the look. It was a declaration. Zendaya was no longer just a Disney actress, but a force in fashion, unafraid of artistic expression. From there, her style became inseparable from her cultural impact. She and Roach turned every red carpet into a narrative moment. They drew on cinematic eras, historical figures, and cultural icons, positioning Zendaya as more than just a participant in fashion. She was a commentator, a storyteller. In 2018, for Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination, Zendaya stunned in a Joan of Arc-inspired Versace gown, complete with armor-like shoulders, metallic chainmail, and a cropped red wig. She looked like a warrior on the carpet, channeling history while making it her own. A year later, at the 2019 Met Gala, she leaned into nostalgia, arriving as Cinderella in a baby blue, light-up Tommy Hilfiger gown. Roach played her fairy godfather, waving a wand as the dress lit up in front of photographers. She even left a glass slipper behind, a perfect theatrical homage to her Disney past. By the 2020s, Zendaya had evolved into a true fashion historian. using her platform to weave references that honored both legacy and innovation. At the 2024 Met Gala, she delivered a masterclass in sustainability and storytelling with a vintage Givenchy gown. It was a nod to archival glamour, cementing her desire to be remembered among fashion's greats, rather than as someone chasing fleeting trends. In 2025, she took that ethos further. Arriving on the Met Gala's iconic blue carpet in a custom all-white Louis Vuitton three-piece suit designed by Pharrell Williams, Zendaya paid homage to black dandyism. Paired with a wide-brim hat, a pearl-encrusted Speedy bag, and a Bulgari diamond serpenti brooch, the look was elegant and deeply symbolic. It was more than just tailoring, it was cultural storytelling, merging personal style with historical homage. What sets Zendaya apart is not just her ability to look flawless, but her talent for framing fashion as conversation. She blends costuming with couture, history with modernity, and personal narrative with cultural commentary. Whether referencing Joan of Arc, Cinderella, Josephine Baker, Cher, or David Bowie, she steps into her looks the way she steps into a role, fully embodied, commanding, and deliberate. More than just best dressed, Zendaya has positioned herself as the face of red carpet culture for Gen Z and beyond. She creates fashion moments that become cultural markers, sparking dialogue around femininity, power, black beauty, nostalgia, futurism, and self-expression. Her fashion is never just clothing, it's performance, history, and identity woven together. Zendaya doesn't simply wear fashion, she lives in it, she transforms with it, and she uses it to tell stories that will be remembered for decades to come. Fashion often looks to the past to inspire the future, and few embody this cycle more clearly than Zendaya. For her, fashion is almost like acting. Every look tells a story. Whether she's in haute couture, streetwear, or rare archival pieces, she doesn't just wear the clothes, she becomes them. Each outfit is a character, a role, a moment in time brought to life. And because she's unafraid of bold risks, robotic couture, gender-fluid tailoring, 70s disco glam, she signals not only that she's in command of her image, but also that she sees fashion as a form of performance art. Her longtime stylist and close friend, Law Roach, has often said that true style icons give clothes life, and Zendaya does this with unmatched consistency. Together, they have turned homage into a craft, paying stylish tributes to cultural giants of the past while simultaneously mastering the art of going viral. These tributes are not shallow imitations, they are thoughtful reinterpretations, bridging eras and reminding audiences that fashion is always a conversation between past and present. Zendaya often draws from the legacy of black icons, particularly women whose fashion statements transcended style and entered cultural memory. Diana Ross, Aaliyah, Josephine Baker, and Beyoncé all appear in her style vocabulary, reimagined through her lens. Roach explained the strategy behind this approach. I would only put her in things that people had worn so that the designers would start to notice her and notice her name. And it worked. This meant deliberately choosing looks with historical weight, ones that allowed Zendaya to step symbolically and sometimes literally into the shoes of her heroes. One of the earliest examples came in 2013 at a Keep a Child Alive event just before Halloween. Zendaya wore a logo-heavy Tommy Hilfiger look nearly identical to Aaliyah's iconic 90s campaign with the brand. It was a striking choice for a teenager still transitioning out of her Disney era. By paying homage to Aaliyah, Zendaya signaled her connection to a lineage of young black women whose style defined generations. From there, the tributes became more layered and theatrical. At the 2016 Oscars, Zendaya had what many fans call her Cher moment, wearing a flowing white gown that evoked the singer's statuesque glamour. The following year, at the Chrysalis Butterfly Ball, which coincidentally fell on Josephine Baker's birthday, Zendaya honored the legendary entertainer with an off-the-shoulder Mario Dice gown, pearls, and a finger-wave hairstyle that recalled the jazz age icon. It was more than a red carpet look. It was a deliberate nod to one of the most important black performers of the 20th century. Her tributes were not confined to women alone. In 2016, just a month after David Bowie's death, Zendaya arrived at the Grammy Awards in a mullet wig and a disquieted double-breasted tuxedo that directly echoed Bowie's thin white Duke persona. The look also mirrored the tuxedo Bowie wore to the Grammys in 1975. Zendaya later explained that while the hair paid homage to his Ziggy Stardust era, the true inspiration was the thin white Duke, a persona that embodied Bowie's fearless, boundary-pushing artistry. It was a heartfelt tribute delivered through tailoring and transformation. Zendaya's references became more ambitious with time. In 2020, she appeared on the cover of Essence in a shoot that honored the first black supermodels, recreating their most famous looks and giving credit to the black photographers and designers who helped shape those moments. In 2021, she channeled Beyoncé at the BET Awards, wearing a Versace gown nearly identical to the one Beyoncé had worn to perform Crazy in Love at the same event in 2003. It was a circular, generational moment, one black superstar paying homage to another in the exact same space. That same year, Zendaya once again revisited Cher, arriving at the Academy Awards in a neon yellow Valentino gown. Its cutouts and bold colour were a direct callback to Cher's flamboyant stage wardrobe, particularly the pieces designed by Bob Mackie in the 1970s. By choosing that shade of yellow, one Cher herself had worn to the Oscars decades earlier, Zendaya aligned herself with a legacy of women who used the red carpet not only as a showcase of beauty, but as a platform for self-expression. Each of these moments underscores Zendaya's rare ability to merge fashion with history. Her tributes are never simple replicas. They are reinterpretations, modern, fresh, and uniquely hers. When she channels Aaliyah, Josephine Baker, Cher, or Bowie, she isn't borrowing their style. She's continuing their story, carrying it into a new generation. Zendaya has made homage a form of artistry. She studies, she references, she transforms. In doing so, she places herself in direct conversation with cultural icons who came before her. And while she is undeniably a style icon in her own right, her tributes remind us that fashion is always part of a larger lineage. She isn't just building her image, she is writing herself into fashion history, one look at a time. When Zendaya isn't paying direct homage to cultural icons, she is flawlessly stepping into the themes of the events she attends, turning red carpet dressing into a kind of performance art. At the 87th Academy Awards in 2015, Zendaya stunned in a silky ivory Vivienne Westwood gown, minimal and elegant, accessorized only with a crystal cuff bracelet and pearl earrings. It was one of her earliest moments of restraint and sophistication, a signal of the versatility she would come to master. 4 years later, at the 2019 Emmys, she embodied Poison Ivy in a custom emerald Vera Wang gown with a sheer sweetheart bodice and daring hip-high slit, paired with diamond and emerald drop earrings and Brian Atwood pumps. That same year, Zendaya turned heads at the Spider-Man Far From Home premiere in a sequined Armani Privé gown inspired by Tom Holland's Spider-Man suit, proving she could merge promotional dressing with high fashion in a way that felt playful, clever, and elevated. By the 2020 Emmys, she and Law Roach had taken this synergy further. Zendaya wore a plunging Christopher John Rogers purple taffeta gown with a built-in cummerbund, Bulgari jewels, and Louboutin pumps. It was bold, yet elegant, cementing her place as both risk-taker and red carpet royalty. Her Spider-Man, No Way Home press tour in 2021 remains a fan favorite. At the Los Angeles premiere, she arrived in a floor-length Valentino gown embroidered with delicate black spiderwebs, paired with a lace domino mask, cornrowed hair, and Louboutin stilettos. It was more than an outfit, it was character building, a seamless blend of film promotion and couture spectacle. By 2022, Zendaya had settled into a rhythm of balancing modernity with timelessness. At the Emmys that year, she donned a classic Valentino gown, old Hollywood glamour, reimagined through contemporary cutouts and sleek silhouettes. 2 years later, at the 96th Academy Awards in 2024, she returned as a presenter, this time in a Giorgio Armani Privé antique rose silk gown. Its rope strap, palm tree embroidery, and gunmetal paillette bodice underscored her mastery of thematic couture that remains wearable. But no chapter of Zendaya's red carpet history has been as defining as the Dune eras. In 2021, during the press tour for Dune, she set the Venice Film Festival ablaze in a Balmain leather gown with a thigh-high slit, paired with a 93-carat Bulgari emerald serpentine necklace. The look was futuristic yet regal, visually echoing her character's world. Each stop on the tour seemed carefully curated to reflect the film's themes. Then came 2024 and the Dune Part 2 press cycle, which produced some of the most talked about looks of her career. At the Paris premiere, she wore a custom two-piece gold Louis Vuitton look. In Mexico City, she stunned in fully custom ensembles by Bottega Veneta and Torricelli Dumi. And at the New York premiere, she appeared in a Stéphane Roland couture gown that looked plucked from the Dune universe itself. Futuristic cutouts, layered gold embellishments, and metallic nails completing the sci-fi aesthetic. And then there was the moment that left everyone speechless. Zendaya arriving in vintage Thierry Mugler from 1995. The sculptural metal bodysuit with clear paneling and matching stilettos looked like a suit of armor brought to life. It was one of the boldest red carpet statements of her career, blending history, performance, and fashion into a single unforgettable image. Her promotional fashion storytelling extended beyond Dune. At the Space Jam, a New Legacy premiere in 2021, she wore a Moschino Resort short suit directly inspired by her character Lola Bunny, proving she could turn even a cartoon into couture. Then, in 2024, she redefined what a press tour could look like with her Challengers wardrobe. Every appearance tied back to the theme of tennis, whether through literal references, like Lowe's sparkling green gown with a tennis player motif, or subtle nods, like Tom Brown's sculptural racket embroidery at the London premiere. She even donned vintage Louis Vuitton, checkerboard minis, and a pleated tennis skirt by Longchamp in New York, weaving a narrative that was as cohesive as it was fashionable. By the LA premiere, she surprised again, switching gears into romance with a black and pink Vera Wang lace ball gown, showing she would never be predictable. Zendaya's mastery extends beyond premieres. In 2024, she partnered with Swiss activewear label On Running, proving her ability to fuse sport and lifestyle. The collaboration, which generated $1.7 million in media value within 48 hours, showcased Zendaya as not just a red carpet icon, but also a commercial powerhouse. Her spiky prosthetic-eared pixie cut for the campaign drew from sci-fi motifs and sparked a wider Gen Z embrace of the look, reminding us that even off the carpet, Zendaya sets the tone for trends. Taken together, her red carpet mastery, luxury house partnerships, editorial clout, and fearless reinvention, Zendaya exemplifies what it means to be a style icon of our time. Her choices don't just reflect trends, they create them. She embodies confidence and playfulness, intentionality and daring, always aware of history, yet looking toward the future. Zendaya is no longer just a style starlet. She is evolving into a fashion legend, an artist who uses clothing as both armor and language, bridging identity, culture, and performance. Her legacy will likely be remembered as one of transformation. The young girl from Oakland who became a global icon by turning every look into a story worth telling. So the question remains, would you consider Zendaya a modern-day style icon? And how do you think she'll be remembered? Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more in my style video essay series. Sincerely, Janet.